go. Oh yeah, she's a manual. Today's video, we are finally back working on the Soarer, and today we are installing the clutch, gearbox, sorting out all the wiring, putting the interior back together for its first drive. Camera nearly fell over, but it is so much quicker. Jumping straight into it, I began removing the interior to remove all the auto bits and pieces. As you can see, guys, I just removed this here. It was actually pretty simple. I put it on the ground. You can see there's 2 bolts there, and it was actually just 2 bolts on the other side, you can see. Now if we go inside the car, it's got a whole lot of plugs, which if you guys have any idea on what to do with them or something to make them look like, I don't know if you get rid of them all because you don't really need them, but yeah. And there's just a hole in the car. And the other thing we need to do is we're going to line up the gearbox, because I'm pretty sure you got to cut from there to like 100 mil or something in front, but we'll have to see. We'll line it all up and get it all sweet, and then I'll let you guys know what you need to do. So yeah, let's get on to installing this pedal. With the clutch, pedal and master all laid out, it was time to start mounting them. As you can see, guys, that is now situated perfectly in there, and we can get to installing the clutch pedal underneath, which is going to be a bit hard to film, so I might not film that, but I'll explain exactly how I did it. Before I mounted the clutch pedal, I realized that I needed to cut down the brake pedal as it's much bigger than the manual brake pedal. Alright guys, so as you can see, I've got the brake pedal out of the car, and this is actually my spare brake pedal because I've got a whole spare car. So what I'm going to do is try, and you see how it's bent like that? The manual ones are actually straight. So what I'm going to try and do is heat it up there and hit it back over, and if that doesn't work, I'll cut it and weld it all back up together straight, so it's like the manual one instead of buying one. So I'll get into that now. All right guys, so what I've decided to do is I cut the pedal straight off, as you can see here. And what I've done is actually just put a slot there, and it is bent over perfectly. It's not perfectly straight, but I still want it a little bit over. I don't think it needs to be perfectly straight. So that's gonna be really, really good. So now what I'll do is weld up that line there and weld back on the pedal. And I'll cut the pedal down to the size using my clutch pedal cover thing, the pad, and I'll line it up there and make it the perfect size, and then I'll buy a brand new pad. So that's how I'm going to do the brake pedal. As you can see, guys, we've got the pedal all welded on there now, so I'm going to chuck it back in the car and I'll show you how it all sits up next to the clutch pedal that is mounted in there now. As you can see, guys, the 3 pedals are now in. I just have to remount that ECU sort of thing there. I don't know what that is, maybe a body control module or something. But yeah, the clutch pedal is in. I'll just leave the light there. You can see it pushes down and it will just stay all the way because there's no fluid in it. The brake is obviously the brake, so that's working good, and then the accelerator. All right guys, it is a new day because we got sort of sidetracked and had to wait for a few more parts to come in, which I'll show you in a second. But as you can see here, we've got the box here finally. So this is the R154. These are the bits we're waiting on. So I was waiting on this speed sensor here. I needed to buy this separately, which is the hub for the release bearing, and then all the circlips and stuff for the release bearing. And then, as you can see, that's just the wheel for the speed sensor. And if you're wondering, I think I got the 33 gear. I can't remember, or 32. I can't remember, but I'll make sure to let you guys know in the video. The car is right here. So what I'm going to do is I got this welding blanket. I'm going to put it in there, and I'm going to cut the hole for the where the gearbox has to sit, as you have to cut it a bit from the auto trans. Once the release bearing and hub were mounted onto the clutch, it was time to slide that thing in the gearbox and lift them all up at once. I had to do this because when you mount the clutch onto the flywheel, you can't actually put the gearbox in, as the trans tunnel is too small for the bell housing to fit over the clutch. So unfortunately, this is the way you got to do it.
Hey, what up, say? One time for the hometown, I got love for it, that's real. 2 times for the haters make.
All right, guys, as you can see, the slave cylinder is installed with the clutch fork, and we done up the bolts. I did it really quick because it's a bit dark in here. I just didn't really want you guys to wait. But as you can see, I got the wires twitched here. I got these ones all cut back. This is how I'm going to put heat shrink over them. I got my 2 reverse wires. And then I got the 2 looms running across, which will then have a nice P-clamp sat there on the bolt for the, what's it called? Inspection plate. So that'll look nice and fancy.
Shit and paid our bills, and I get 4 times my net worth from a year ago with no deals. Did it all by myself, I don't need nothing. Dropped 100 songs, I'ma keep.
As you guys can see, it actually looks pretty damn factory if you ask me. It looks pretty good. I still got to take this off, so don't worry about that. But then also you're wondering, oops, my bad. If you're wondering where my clutch line is, we're actually making our own. So I've left a bit of room for that, and then I'll tighten this up all later. We've left a bit of room for that. That's going to run up there, and we're actually making our own. I've got all the fittings for it, so I'll show you how we're doing that. And we're actually making our own tail shaft, so I'll show you how we're doing that as well. Now it's time to put back the interior. All right, guys, as you can see, I've just put the actual shifter back in, and here's all my messy wiring that I got to neaten up. That looks absolutely shocking, doesn't it? Jesus Christ. I don't know who had to go at this, but it ain't good. So here's what I've got, these 2 options to do the little manual boot surround thing. So I've either got one like this, which that's a pretty good one. It doesn't really seal up properly. Then I've got a bigger one, and I bought 2 because I didn't know which one would fit. So I don't know if this would fit width-wise, but I think that's going to be much better towards the front. So I might cut a hole in that and see how this one fits. This is just from Bunnings. It's called Deck Tight, and it will fit perfectly, I reckon. All right, guys, so here is my shift knob that I got from Japan, and I can't wait to finally put this thing in. I'll show you the interior because I got carried away and I've just put everything back together, but I can finally put in my Japan shift knob. All right, as you guys can finally see, she's a manual. Look at that. We are so close. We just got the tail shaft to finish, and that is basically the tail shaft and the clutch line, which we'll do in the next part. So flick over to tomorrow, and we should have the tail shaft space all spaced out and stuff like that. But I'm so keen. It's looking so good. But look at that. It just looks so good. I can't wait to be ripping it. And yeah, I'm so excited. All right, guys, so it is the next day, and as you can see, I've got a little adapter in the master cylinder because I couldn't get any -3 fittings, so this is a -4. So this is going to fit on there like that, and then we're going to run it down with some braided line all the way down to the slave cylinder, and it should be all sweet. Once the clutch braided line was done, it was time to fill the gearbox with some oil. As you can see, guys, we got the tail shaft all complete here. We used a clock dial indicator on the lathe, and we basically made it, well, I didn't do anything, Dad did. He made it so it's like a female on either end and it slides in. And we put it all in the lathe and used the indicator, and we got it within 1 thou, so it shouldn't have any vibrations, and it should be pretty perfect because we got it super, super close. And then he welded it in the lathe and it's come up mint, so it looks good. Alright, guys, as you can see behind me, the Soarer is actually off the hoist, and now this has come at a very good time because I'm just finished work. I'm going to take it for its first drive, but I just want to explain to you a few things that I had to do before I took it off the hoist. So one thing was we couldn't get the clutch to bleed at all, and that was because it has a massive airlock in it because it's obviously brand new. So we had to use a vacuum bleeder, and then it bled it straight away perfect. And we also had to adjust the clutch heaps, like from the master cylinder rod, to get it to engage properly. And then once the wheels were spinning on the hoist, I took it straight off, and now I'm ready for my first drive. So I'm going to start this thing up and we'll get going on the first drive in the manual. Let's do it. All right, guys, first drive in the manual Soarer. Let's do it. Only thing I've done is taken this thing off the hoist. So if you hear a couple noises, there is actually a power steering noise that I got to fix. I think my power steering pump's gone, so I'll have to fix that. And sorry if the camera's a little bit shaky. The setup I have at the moment isn't very good, but yeah, I'll try and fix that for you. But let's just get into it. All right, here we go. Oh yeah, she's a manual. That feels actually insane to drive this car as a manual. Like, that is absolutely ridiculous. Holy crap. That is awesome. Oh yeah. Oh my god. It feels insane. Oh my god. It took so much work, but it is finally here and it drives so good. It shifts just smooth as butter. I know people say these transmissions aren't the best, but it's shifting smooth as. What can I say? It feels fantastic. So I'll let it warm up a bit and then we'll see, does it make a difference to the power? Oh my god. It feels so good to just be able to rev this thing out. Like, I haven't been able to rev it out at all because, you know, an auto, but it feels insane and it makes all the right bloody noises. Alright, let's go. Camera nearly fell over, but it is so much quicker. Now, it goes so much better, it's ridiculous. Holy crap. I can't even get a good pull on camera because the camera just wants to fall over. But it is going so good, it's shifting so smooth, I can't believe it. It's finally a manual. Let's go. Oh my god. You guys want to see a POV drive, me driving this thing through the hills, wherever, with the manual, a few turbo noises, because it sounds pretty good, let me know, I'll post one. But for now, I'll see you guys in the next video. Hope you guys enjoy. I'll catch you next time. Make sure to like and subscribe. See ya.